Hey guys, Naders here, and last week I revealed my new series where I will be going through my wish list for MultiVersus, the up-and-coming platform fighter. I announced that this week I will be uploading my choices for the 1980s section of that list. So here we are. Here are my choices for the 80s characters that I think should be added into MultiVersus. Let's start off with none other than Sloth from the Goonies. This should be no surprise, as the Goonies character is bound to happen at some point. Goonies is considered a classic, similar to Gremlins, and should totally have representation in the game in my opinion. To put it simply, Goonies is a movie about a group of teens searching for treasure, only for criminals to be tailing behind them. I'm starting off with Sloth because the Goonies character was actually leaked a little while ago, but the leakers are still unsure as to which character it is. Data or Sloth are the two most likely picks here. I decided to go with Sloth, not only because he is my favorite character, but also because he was picked in LEGO Dimensions over Data. LEGO Dimensions, for those unfamiliar, is a toy-to-life game but with LEGO figures. The game was made by Warner, and most of the characters in it are Warner property. Due to Sloth being chosen as a playable character over Data in this game, I think that he may be a little more likely in MultiVersus. I do think, though, that if the devs decided to go with Data, he could be a very good pick as well. All his gadgets would make a great moveset. Here is the character card I have made for Sloth. I actually made this all the way back in November of 2021. These character cards will be common throughout the series, and they are based off of the ones from the MultiVersus website to those who are wondering. Sloth's special moves included on the card are Sword Slash and Boulder Bash. These were two pretty obvious moveset ideas for me. Sloth has been seen with a sword in the Goonies, so why not give it to him in the game? Boulder Bash actually comes from a scene toward the end of the Goonies. Sloth lifts up a large boulder to allow Goonies members to escape a cave. While I don't think the boulder should be this big in the game, my thought was that he could lift a decent sized boulder and slam it onto the ground, shattering it and sending pieces scattered across the stage in a certain range. These pieces could have a hitbox and damage your opponent. Another item from the Goonies that I think could be used in this game is dynamite. We could have Sloth drop a lighted piece of dynamite and have it explode after a certain amount of time. It could also be fun to have a reference to the Goonies video games. Give him a slingshot move. Slingshots are the weapon of choice for Mikey in the Goonies games, and it could work for Sloth in MultiVersus. Goonies has left a legacy, and if MultiVersus is a video game including Warner Brothers characters, it would almost be a crime not including a Goonies rep. My next pick for 80s movie characters is Audrey 2. Audrey 2 comes from a movie called Little Shop of Horrors. He is a giant plant alien thing. Little Shop of Horrors is about Seymour, the main character, finding Audrey when he was just a little plant. Little does he know, Audrey will soon grow much, much larger. Here's my character card for Audrey 2. For special moves, I decided to showcase Gun Blast and Feeding Time. Let's first go over Gun Blast because yes, this big plant has been seen wielding a gun. In the scene of the movie where Audrey reveals himself to be an alien, he picks up a gun Seymour dropped and begins to fire it. This would work perfectly in MultiVersus and could be pretty funny as well. The second special move I titled Feeding Time. I'll try not to spoil too much, but this references whenever Seymour has to feed Audrey, who happens to be a carnivore by the way. I'd imagine this move working similar to Taz's move where he straight up eats the enemy. Over on Twitter, there's an account campaigning to get Audrey 2 into MultiVersus. He came up with a fantastic gimmick where Audrey grows larger over the course of the game. I'll leave his profile in the video description if you'd like to check him out. I think that Audrey would bring something totally new to the table, something that we've never seen before in a platform fighter. If the devs are able to pull it off, he could be a lot of fun in this game. For my third character pick, I have chosen a Krite from the Critters movie. Critters is a movie made by New Line Cinema, which is owned by Warner Brothers. It is a movie similar to Gremlins, but with a different plot and different monsters. In Critters, the Krites are escaped alien prisoners who have crash-landed onto Earth. It is actually crazy to me just how many of these movies have been made. There have been 5 Critters movies in total. Yes, you heard me right, 5. Gremlins, a movie I just compared this to, has only had 2 movies plus a TV show made, and is arguably better, and Critters has had 5, which is just crazy to me. If you look at my character card for the Krite, you will see that the 2 special moves I selected are Rolling Terror and Devastating Chomp. In the movies, the Krites have been seen rolling around as their main way of getting around. I imagine this move being sort of similar to Sonic's Spin Dash move in Super Smash Bros. If you're familiar with that. Critters are often seen latching on to their victims. This is where I got my idea for the devastating chomp special move. If you are controlling the critter, you can latch onto your opponent. I imagine this kind of working to how Pikmin do in Smash, but this time you are the one controlling the Pikmin. My thought was that you can input the roll move and then input the chomp move when you get close to your opponent and latch onto them, so the two kind of work together in a way. The downside of this being if you are latched on and your opponent dies, you die also because you're stuck on them. Another potential move for the Krite is their poison spikes. They have been seen shooting poison spikes that knock people out in their movies. This would be such a unique move in MultiVersus, and I think if the devs are able to pull it off, it would be a lot of fun. The Krite could be a new smaller character in the game, and it would be a shame not to have him included. For my fourth character pick, I chose Edgar Frog from The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys is about a family moving to Santa Carla, only for it to be run completely by vampires. Edgar Frog and his brother Alan Frog happen to be vampire specialists and help save Santa Carla. I chose Edgar purely because I think that he has the most moveset potential here. While he doesn't get a ton of screen time in the original movie, moves still can be pulled from it. There also have been two Lost Boys sequels made where Edgar is the star in both. He's just older. While I personally haven't had the time to watch them, I'm 100% sure that there would be many scenes to make a moveset out of. Here is my character card for Edgar Frog. His special moves are called Garlic Bola and Holy Water Blast. First, let's talk about the Holy Water Blast. In The Lost Boys, the Frog brothers are seen using squirt guns filled with holy water. This is because it is supposed to hurt vampires. While none of the current MultiVersus cast happen to be vampires, I imagine that we can still use this move as one that deals damage, even though squirt guns filled with water probably wouldn't hurt that bad. The devs could even have it deal more damage to Gizmo due to water being one of his weaknesses. The second move I chose, Garlic Bola, is based off of one of the Lost Boys sequels. I actually got the idea based off of a YouTube video on one of Warner Brothers' YouTube channels titled Edgar Frog's Guide to Coming Back Alive. In it, Edgar says that he uses Garlic Bolas, which could be a very fun move in MultiVersus. I think that he could also use a stake of some sort, as it is his weapon of choice. I think that Edgar is quickly becoming one of my most wanted characters for this game, and he has a lot of unique ideas moveset-wise, and I would absolutely love to see him included. For my last and final pick of this video, I wanted to choose a character that is a little more obscure. Someone that not a ton of people know about, or at least someone I rarely see spoken about. And this will become a common theme throughout all of my videos. Next week, the 90s, there is a character that will be lesser known, and that will be a thing for everyone. For the TV shows, the video games, the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, all of those will have lesser known characters because I think it's more fun that way. In this video, that character happens to be Cobra. Cobra is an action movie made by Warner starring Sylvester Stallone. In it, he plays a role of a cop who is a part of a higher zombie squad. Cobra is called when the cops are struggling and need someone who has more expertise. This movie's plot is about a cult killing group stumping police, so they call Cobra to solve all the murders. Here's my character card for Cobra. His moveset would primarily revolve around guns, but also throwing knives, and the grill bomb that you can see under his special moves. Cobra has been seen with many types of guns throughout this film, and I'm sure that each one could be worked into its own separate move. I'd imagine him being the snake of MultiVersus, but with a lot less bombs and a lot more guns. The grill bomb move comes from a scene where Cobra tosses a newspaper into a grill. While the grill is never seen exploding, I think that we could take some creative liberties here. For this moveset idea, Cobra would spawn in a grill and toss some newspaper into it. The grill stays there on a timer, and when the move is pressed again, the grill will blow up. If the timer is up before the move is pressed again, the grill will despawn. I think that Cobra would be such a fun pick for MultiVersus, being a weapon specialist. There's not a ton of characters from Warner Media that could be weapon specialists and could get into this game. Cobra is so focused on guns, and there aren't a ton of characters out there that are. Cobra would be such an insane character for this game, and I would absolutely love to see him. And that is the end of all the 80s characters that I think should be added into MultiVersus. Before this video ends, however, there are a couple things that I want to say. First of all, thank you so much to all the views and subscribers I've gotten in the past week. It's meant so much to me. The video that I uploaded last week about my wish list for MultiVersus, basically the announcement that I'm going to be making this series, currently has 2,622 views. 2,622 views is insane to me. You know, before I uploaded that video, my highest viewed video had a little over 1,000 views, and that video happened to be the video that I put the least amount of effort in on my whole channel, and that was a little disappointing. To see this video do well is really special to me. I also have gained a ton of subscribers. I currently have 161 subscribers, and thank you guys so much because it truly does mean a lot to me. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is that when the Goonies part of this game was leaked, there were a lot of people that were angry and frustrated. Their biggest argument was because these characters weren't relevant anymore. And I see that. I get their point. But again, like I said in my last video, 80s characters happened to be my favorite characters. 80s movies are super special in my opinion. They are super creative, and I absolutely adore all of the movies on this list. And I don't think that we should be mad if a character that brings something new to the table is added into multiverses. You know, there will be someone out there who mains them and really loves them. And my goal with this roster or this wish list happens to be to get names out there that people haven't heard of. You know, because Warner Brothers, again, I said this in my last video, owns so many characters that when at the end of the day, when this roster is finalized, I don't want this to be a game that is purely Cartoon Network versus DC. I know Cartoon Network is big and super popular at the moment, and DC, Warner Brothers owns DC. Of course, there's going to be a ton of DC characters in this game. I get that. I do want to see DC characters. My most wanted DC character is Chemo, which is a character that probably none of you have heard of, but go look him up if you haven't heard of him because I really love that character. Um, because Warner owns so many characters, I'd love to see a diverse cast with a ton of Warner media. Because they own so many, there can be tons of different movies that go into this game, and I want that to be what this game is. And I just wanted to shine some light with this list on characters that people might not know about and characters that I think could be a lot of fun in multiverses that have a decent chance of getting in purely because they're Warner. They might not be relevant, they might not be everyone's most wanted, but they still could be a lot of fun to play in multiverses, and really, I think that's all that matters. If a character is fun and brings something new to the table and is different than other characters that are already in the game, then why are we complaining that they're in the game? They bring something new. There's someone out there who enjoys playing them. Someone out there probably mains them, and it's just cool to see the different franchises represented in the game. And I hope when Multiverses is done that there will be a lot of franchise represented. And so I just wanted to go into that just a little bit. Um, I enjoyed making this video a lot. I had a ton of fun doing it. Next week, I will be revealing my picks for the 90s movies characters that I would like to see in multiverses, so stay tuned for that. If you like this video, consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. It helps me want to create more content like this, and I will see you all next week.